Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, man, first off, Merry Christmas Eve for those of you guys who celebrate Christmas. Unfortunately, I have to go to work today. But nevertheless, I wanted to wish everyone a great Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you guys enjoy the holidays, have a wonderful Christmas, and a Happy New Year. With that being said, though, y'all, this thing with Nicki Minaj really has tripped me out because I guess in Black culture, we presumed that Nicki was a Black girl. You feel me? So what I hear is she's not actually Black, and I think there's, we need to start making distinctions between Blacks in America and Blacks abroad, right? Because we are very much different. Obviously one set is American bred, the others, they're raised by other countries, right? So um the ideologies and the things that we think and the way in which we live are a little bit different. Our culture is just a little bit different. And I think that it helps when you put that in perspective when we're looking at Nicki, right? Um, Let me tell you guys something. I would say I wasn't a huge Nicki fan, right? I'm a generation before her time. Her time. I remember when Lil Wayne was coming out and Nicki Minaj was coming out, and cool. Like I was used to different types of female rappers, right? Because I am a '90s baby, so our rappers at that time, especially when I was younger, looked a lot different. They carried themselves different. With the exception of like Little Kim and Trina, right? But most of all, most women carried themselves with a level of decorum, whether they were a hood or not, gay or not, right? So it's just a little different type of generation for me. However, my little sister, 3 years younger than me, loved Nicki Minaj. And as a result, I kind of, there's certain songs of Nicki's that I probably still play to this day. With that being said, um, Nicki Minaj made her money off of Black people, right? And minorities as a whole, really, right? Not made her music off of us, but she got her fame and her stardom and her wealth mainly because of us. And it's bizarre to see her on a stage on a platform of people who really don't like us, right? And I say this because yesterday I was talking about the religious aspect of things and how a lot of these people view Black people, whether they'll say it or not. They're being taught and indoctrinated through religion that Blacks are lesser than, right? And it's very interesting to me. That's a whole nother conversation, a rabbit hole we could go down, but this is what a lot of these folks are being taught, right? So you sit on this stage with a woman who believes in this quote unquote, or at least is trying to promote this trad life, um, handmaid's tale type of lifestyle. um, and she's going to do it from a perspective that is of a Caucasian woman, um, while using people like Nicki Minaj, I guess, to boost and entertain her platform. I am, I feel as though Nicki Minaj should is smarter than this. I would hope that she was smarter than this. Um, but to sit on that stage and think you're gonna talk to Black people, Black women, some of the most educated, as a matter of fact, we're not some, we're a majority of the most educated people on this country, which means that we have the ability to use critical thinking skills, right? We have the ability to problem solve. We have the ability to see through your bullshit, is what I'm saying. Um, Nicki Minaj Her stance is that black women are hating on Caucasian women. We need to stop hating on them because they're beautiful too. The fuck? Like, I don't understand the need for this conversation because I think it's the other way around. I don't think that black women, while I understand that you see, folks want to say, well, blacks are, dyeing their hair blonde like the European race and all this extra shit. Like we trying to be European without the understanding that they're trying to be like us, right? When you go out and tan, your job, what you're doing is trying to look like the most light-skinned of us, right? You're wearing weave in your hair, just like us, right? You want to get lip filler and shit, so your lips look like ours, right? There's a whole lot of things that we could really discuss when it comes to the white culture and this idea that somehow black women are trying to be like these folks who really are only imitating us and have done it since the beginning of time. So, I don't understand that conversation. I mean, if we're really trying to empower quote unquote women, right, then you would tell women of all races to stop hating on each other, right? Because hate and this idea that black women are not beautiful, right? Because again, I talked about how in the black community, the beauty standards are a lot different than the Caucasian community. Now, in some aspects, when we're talking about class, right, it may be similar, right? You have the Mormons who wear the weaves, they get the extensions. I mean, contrary to what some black men understand, right? They get their nails done, they wear the lip gloss, they lip gloss be popping, right? Because they're trying to attract a certain type of male, a certain class of male, right? That's across the board. Whether the black, white, that's the image of a woman that has herself put together for the most part. Okay, that's where we're similar. But in terms of, like I said, black men don't look at, well, I understand some of y'all follow Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels was found dead with a thick girl, right? I'm just saying. Black men's beauty standards are just a little bit different. Now you have these men that are crossing over and going over to the other side. I think that's more of a mental health thing than I think people realize. But I digress, okay? For the most part, a lot of black males, and it's not just American men, they like a thicker girl. Doesn't mean she's fat or overweight, but she got a little something on her, right? A lot of these men that are not black, they want their girls super, super skinny for the most part, especially when they're of a higher class. They want the blonde hair, blue eye. That's why you got all these women changing their hair color to be blonde. It's not just black women, it's Caucasians too. Dyeing their hair may be jet black, but because they know Tom likes the blonde hair, blue eye thing, they dye their hair blonde. This happens on a regular basis. So the beauty standards are very different, okay, in certain aspects. It just so happens that black women have enough confidence, self-confidence, right? Self-oomph, right? We boost each other up. We've got our black girl magic. We've created something for us as black girls and women because black girls and women were shamed for so long for being who we are. We're still shamed. If you think the Caucasian woman is being dissed, black woman is being dissed 10 times more, right? Because we still have this element of racism in this country and colorism amongst our own people. So when I hear a Nicki Minaj, one, it tells me her lineage does not come from Black America the way that we think it comes from, the way we've experienced America. It's not the same thing. So of course, an uneducated Black woman is going to say, well, you Black women need to stop hating on these white women. I don't think that's quite what's going on. I think a lot of black women got a lot more going on than some white women. A lot of us, a white woman, to be fair, does not exist in our reality unless we're at work or we have a male family member that married a white girl. Outside of that, or, right, because there are diverse friend groups. There are white girls that happen to be a part of these friend groups. That's okay. But I don't think that educated black women, knowing that, what do they say, the majority of us are educated, I think we've got bigger problems than Caucasian women. And let me be very clear. The Caucasian women that I've ever beefed with started that shit with me first. We just happen to be 10 times better at it. White women just happen to have resources, right, that they're able to utilize to try to make your life what they think they're going to make your life. Hence the term Karen. It's not, black women don't, it's not like I come home and I'm thinking about a white girl and damn, that white girl, 9 times out of 10, I'm the prettiest one in the room. That's how I see it. I'm not knocking another woman because I may not agree that she's the prettiest thing in the world, but I'm not going, I know my beauty when I step into a room. I know how I show up to look. I put in the work to maintain those things, just like every other black woman. We're not competing with white women, I think, at the level that white women are competing with us. And I say this because you have this element of interracial dating, which, you know, whatever. But you have this element of interracial dating. And the intent is to try and shame the black woman as if the black woman ain't the shit, okay? So what happens is you get these black men who don't like themselves, they mama, they go into these relationships and they think it is an opportunity to downplay and disregard and disrespect the black woman. Telling the Caucasian woman, hence you guys see it all over the internet, you're better than. You see these black men when they get to a certain level in life and they'll completely dog out the black woman for the lighter skin or the white woman. And what happens to women, especially because women are quote unquote competitive when it comes to relationships and men and shit like that, is they begin to get this thought process in their head that they are somehow better than. So you have a population of Caucasian women, not that already think black women ain't shit. We cursed, we all this extra stuff. Then you've got an element of Caucasian women who think that, and then they got black men who tell them, yes, you're right. So we're at our relationship with Caucasian women, it looks a lot different than a black man's relationship with a Caucasian woman. Not to say that that black man ain't gonna get dogged out by that Caucasian woman or vice versa. But it is to say, we don't just go in making friends just because you white and we want to be close to you type shit. Black women have created an identity on our own. We don't need to buddy up with nobody and act like put you on this pedestal that you think you own to make you feel good about yourself so that we can maintain our lifestyles. That's not the type of time black women are on. It's the truth. I don't know what to tell people. And I think what's happened, and I've known this from experience, right? Because I had a Caucasian woman acting aggressive, right? Beating on my rental windows, right? Because she was mad, right? Because she had to close her car doors after 10, 15 minutes of me and my baby sitting in the car trying to leave the parking lot, being patient. But after a while, that's entitlement. So yeah, I need to go. I got to go. I got things to do, lady, and you're holding me up. I'm parked right next to this lady. She knew I was sitting there. My car looks nice. I ain't struggling with two toddlers that don't want to listen, screaming and crying, right? With no man in sight. That wasn't my reality. And because it wasn't my reality, because I was fly, because I have a nice car, right? Well, at the time I had a rental, so it wasn't that nice, but it did what it did, right? Because I appeared to be a successful young Black woman who technically the stereotype is that I should have been in her place and she should have been in mine. Oh yeah, that white lady got mad. She started beating on my rental, trying to hit out the windows in the rental. That's aggression. It was crazy. It was like, technically even Black women don't act like that. For no reason we don't. For the most part. I know there's some one-offs, but for the most part. So I say all this to say that it is not, you may have some Black women who feel like a white woman is competition. A lot of us are not thinking that way. A lot of us are well beyond certain levels of comfort, certain levels of confidence that we don't feel like anybody's a competition. Like, to be fair, that is not what Nicki described. It's the other way around. And I hate that she sat up on that stage and said what she said, but I feel like she only said what she said because she's in competition with the white woman, right? I feel like she's in competition with the Caucasian woman. She is closer, quote unquote, to proximity to the Caucasian woman than a lot of us. You're not seeing your everyday Black woman talking to Erica Kirk. It's Nicki Minaj. Why is she closer to this type of white woman? Because she's got money. Nicki Minaj ain't broke. So her comments on Black women, as if she been in the trenches with us, as if she's with us every day when we go get our hair braided, right? As if she's with us when we getting up and getting ready to go to work, right? As if she's with us in these classrooms that we be sitting in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like she misspoke. She's out of pocket for talking on Black women. Completely out of pocket. So that's my take on it, y'all. We don't hate on women, man. I don't have enough time in my day to just find somebody randomly to hate. There's nothing in my spirit that says I'm a hate on Caucasian women. I am going to speak the truth. I am going to not acknowledge beauty that don't exist, right? I ain't going to go out of my way to tell you ugly, but I damn sure ain't going out of my way to make you feel beautiful either. I guess that's not women empowerment, but it's the truth. I'm not a woman that kisses any woman's ass. I don't care to compete where I don't compare, right? Because I was raised a little different with the understanding that I am different, right? Understanding that I am unique, I am special, regardless of what other people feel about me. So I don't have an internalized sense of self in that way. I don't look at myself in the mirror and wish I was a different skin color. Let's put it that way. I know who I am. I'm proud of my history, my culture, right? And I live my life as such. So Nicki Minaj was very much out of pocket. That's all I gotta say on the matter, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.